Welcome back to the Convo Couch, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella.
And Johnny Sue is on the ones and twos, fam.
Hi, fam.
So we haven't had a show since Thursday. We're going to just jump right into this today because I know you guys have been waiting. I've been waiting because I wanted to do a video by myself, but I thought it was important to have my partner here with me because we do feel differently about certain issues. And one issue that's really been bothering me and really, really just eating at my insides is the big question that did Donald Trump do anything to merit impeachment? And what crime did he commit? Because it's very, very important, because to me, Russiagate was not only just a soft coup attempt to remove Donald Trump, but it was also a cover-up of major crimes that we never looked at. It was a big red herring. And I think with Ukrainegate, they're trying to do the same thing. So let's just start from the get-go, fam. Do you want to say anything before we jump right into the inquiry?
No.
Let's do the announcement.
Well, the super chats, just try to make them to the Convo Couch if you can, because there's no way to figure out where it goes. So
just get on over if you can. If you haven't liked, share, subscribe to the Convo Couch, please do.
And of course, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram,
the
Facebook,
whole 9 yards,
everywhere.
It says, "Hello from Breezy. I love your show." So, fam, we're going to start right off with the big question. Let's get with, here's Nancy Pelosi. Now, there's two parts of this, fam, because there's one part, the technical part, on what they're using as what is really illegal and legal. When you hear about the whistleblower, that's where they're going to use the legality to get us involved. And then you'll hear the public perception right after. So let's take a look at the legality first.
On Thursday, the Inspector General testified before the House Intelligence Committee stating that the acting Director of National Intelligence blocked him from disclosing the whistleblower complaint. This is a violation of law. The law is unequivocal. The DNI staff, it says the DNI Director of National Intelligence shall provide Congress the full whistleblower complaint.
Okay, so there's the and very Nancy Pelosi. Can you believe this is still the leader of the Democrats right here, fam? This right here,
I can actually.
Oh my Lord! And you know, I probably get heat for saying this, but she reminds me of my drunk aunt at Thanksgiving, kind of blabbering on. Not what I'm trying to say. The dark meat's the best part. Now let's look at the public perception. The handlers, we say. This is when we talk about, the establishment's connected to the deep state or the insiders or the elites. Watch the public perception now, she puts out at the announcement. Go right ahead.
And this week, the president has admitted to asking the president of Ukraine to take actions which would benefit him politically. The actions of the Trump presidency revealed the dishonorable fact of the president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections. Therefore, today, I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry. I'm directing our 6 committees to proceed with their investigations under that umbrella of impeachment inquiry.
Okay. So, as you can see, she talks about it, and out of the 6 committees, Adam Schiff will eventually take the lead as we find out. This was the inquiry the other day, and now let's look.
Wait, I'm sorry. She said it undermines the democracy of our elections?
Yes.
Okay. There's been zero accountability from the Democratic Party in regards to what happened in 2016. And I know people are going to say, well, I'm tired of talking about 2016. Why do you guys still bring it up? I mean, we need to move on. Well, we're not moving on because we obviously haven't moved on. From the Democratic Party showing you they haven't moved on. No. They are still tying Russiagate now to Ukrainegate and are doing this whole thing. Yet there has been no accountability on the other side, which in turn pisses progressives off and sends people away from the Democratic Party into the Republican Party. So sorry, Pasta, continue.
No, it's okay. I 100%, because like we said, it was a soft coup in Russiagate. Okay, and the biggest thing was Russiagate was also a distraction from not only just looking at, they were trying to kill the messenger and saying that whoever gave us the information, it was worse than the actual message itself. In other words, I don't care who stole the emails. I care who wrote them. And we never looked into that, and nobody ever paid a price. And now they're doing the same thing right now with Ukrainegate. They're saying, let's kill the messenger. The way that Donald Trump went about getting this information was flawed. He was like mafioso style. And let's not look at the actual stuff that happened with Joe Biden, who perpetuated regime change in the Ukraine. Let's look at the actual transcript now. And I took it from CNN because we're not CNN friendly over here, right? And I just would like to start with the point when it says, I would like you to do us a favor, because they go through salutations. They talk about, okay, congratulations. But then he says, I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot and Ukraine knows a lot about it. I would like you to find out this whole thing, the situation with Ukraine. They say CrowdStrike. I guess you have one of the wealthy people, the server. They say Ukraine has it. There's a lot of things that went on with the whole situation. I think you're surrounding yourself with some of the same people. I would like to have our Attorney General call you and your people and to get to the bottom of this. As you saw yesterday, that whole nonsense ended with a very poor performance by a man named Robert Mueller. An incompetent performance. But they say a lot of it started with Ukraine. Whatever you can do, it's very important that you do it if that's possible. Now, once again, we don't see anything thuggish here. We see him asking, and he's talking about Russiagate when it comes to CrowdStrike. And remember, the FBI, the CIA, the intelligence community never looked at the servers. The servers were kept by a group called CrowdStrike, which was a third party, which gave a redacted report to the FBI, which Mueller based his whole Russiagate conspiracy behind. The fact that these servers were hacked by Russian intelligence. So here's Donald Trump saying, hey, we heard, the guy who kind of owns CrowdStrike, he's a Ukrainian oligarch who hates Russia. He's probably looking back, for information on himself, what happened in Russiagate and stuff, because a lot of people want to know what happened. They would like to see those servers. Wouldn't you like to see the servers? And Donald Trump has every right to ask for it. So that's the first part. Now, if you see down below, it says they talk some more. And he talks about the actual situation itself and why they're trying to, what they're saying. He says, good, because I heard you had a prosecutor who's a very good, really not. We heard he's kind of shady. And he was shut down. And that's really unfair. A lot of people are talking about that. The way you shut down a very good prosecutor, and you had some very bad people involved. Mr. Giuliani is a highly respected man. He was the mayor of New York City, a great mayor. I'm saying it like Donald Trump would say it. And I would like you to call him, okay? I will ask him to call you along with the Attorney General. Rudy very much knows what's happening, and he's a very capable guy. If you would speak to him, that would be great. The former ambassador for the United States, the woman, was bad news, and the people she was dealing with in the Ukraine were also bad news, and I just want to let you know that. The other thing, let's talk about Biden's son. That Biden stopped the prosecution of a lot of people, and they want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the Attorney General, that would be great. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution. So if you could look into that, it sounds horrible to me. Once again, I just want to show the Biden video about him bragging right here. This is exactly, now word for word, what he said, not anybody else.
And then we're going to see later on how what Trump said was completely turned around and made into something else.
Yeah.
And I'm really pissed because now I'm having to pretty much side
remember
with
going
Trump.
over convincing our team, our others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Yeah. He was solid for your cause.
Yeah.
I mean, you just incriminated yourself. And here's something else to think about, fam. What did President Obama know? He said, call the president. So
Right.
if they go looking into this, which they
Right.
will, and we talked about this 6 months ago, about how Biden perpetuated regime change, then financially enriched himself. Well, what position did the president play? Did he know about this? He was their point man. And you're talking about atrocities, which we will be diving into this show, because once again, Biden is guilty as sin. Now, fam, you wanted to talk about your boy Adam Schiff. who sold to the public this mafioso perception. We just read right over there, right, fam? You're laughing because this is hysterical. We just read the actual transcripts from CNN. Go look at it yourself. And you tell me if Adam Schiff is
it's Adam Schiff.
Adam Schiff for brains. Take a look at this guy, and I'll let fam elaborate on this. Go ahead.
And so what happened on that call? Zelensky begins by ingratiating himself, and he tries to enlist the support of the president. He expresses his interest in meeting with the president and says his country wants to acquire more weapons from us to defend itself. And what is the president's response? Well, it reads like a classic organized crime shakedown. Shorn of its rambling character and in not so many words, this is the essence of what the president communicates. We've been very good to your country, very good. No other country has done as much as we have. But you know what? I don't see much reciprocity here. I hear what you want. I have a favor I want from you, though. And I'm going to say this only 7 times, so you better listen good. I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent, understand lots of it. On this and on that, I'm going to put you in touch with people, and not just any people. I'm going to put you in touch with Attorney General of the United States, my Attorney General, Bill Barr. He's got the whole weight of the American law enforcement behind him. And I'm going to put you in touch with Rudy. You're going to love him, trust me. You know what I'm asking, and so I'm only going to say this a few more times, in a few more ways. And by the way, don't call me again. I'll call you when you've done what I asked. This is, in character, what the president was trying to communicate with the president of Ukraine. It would be funny if it wasn't such a graphic portrayal of the president's oath of office.
Okay. Fam, what do you think, fam?
I can't.
Now, did he say any of that stuff in that phone call, guys? Johnny? No. I'd love to hear your opinion about this stuff right now. Adam Schiff for brains. Did he say any of that stuff in that transcript? None whatsoever. But Adam Schiff gets to go, elaborate, say some things, and then the media that's backed by him, you know, the same freaking team over here, right? They're going to clip up that part, and they're going to play it up over and over. And the public perception is that Donald Trump tried to shake down.
I thought I was going to say something
Sorry,
first.
You go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
I just want you all to note how this is manufacturing consent, because he didn't even state that this is his opinion of how he thinks this went about in the beginning. He literally started and said, this is what was said, and then went on to a really bad script that could be put in a Hollywood film and started reading like some sort of gangster Italian mob movie where Pasta would probably be playing a character. And just it's funny because it's unnerving because he's lying. He's trying to make it seem like Donald Trump did this to use that deranged Trump syndrome against you so you can be like, wow, I hate Trump. Look what he did. We have to go after him. And then that just manufactures this idea that, yeah, let's focus on Trump, only Trump, Trump, Trump. There's zero mention of anything that Biden could have done. And then at the very end, he's like, a characterization. Like, no, that is a blatant lie to get people to believe your narrative. And it's wrong, and everybody should be infuriated that the leaders of the Democratic Party are putting this out as fact.
Yeah. And fam, I'm really sorry because I am really fired up. I couldn't wait for Johnny to come home to do this show. I have and I know at first, and as I explained myself, I think you were like a little bit surprised about how angry I was about the flip-flopping of Tulsi Gabbard on this issue, and we'll get to that at the end. We'll discuss that because this stuff is so bad and so deep. And of course, what would be short of any type of Trump TDS without a little Russia hysteria from our girl, Nancy Pelosi. Take a look at Nance on Morning Joe with Mika and the Deep State. Here goes.
Let me just say that I fully appreciate the need for a president of the United States to have conversations with leaders of other countries, and that some of that may want to be held close to the vest as part of his job. But I don't think it's part of the president's job to shake down leaders of other countries using taxpayer dollars to have them do something that is in his political benefit. It is wrong for any foreign government to interfere in our elections. And here you have the President of the United States asking for that. So it is, again, now we're engaged in a cover-up of that, but the cover-up of the cover-up, two wrongs do not make a right. And the president's going to have to answer that, and they know how wrong it is. So it's wrong for, as we saw with Russian interference. And by the way, I think Russia has a hand in this, by the way. But we saw with the Russian disruption of our election last time, their interference, 100% confidence of the intelligence community, high confidence of the intelligence community that the Russians disrupted our election. That was wrong. The integrity of...
See what I'm saying, fam? The little Russia has no proof of that. Russia has a hand in this. And in the beginning, I just would like to say what she's talking about, because this is the harm that we talk about, which the Democrats don't care about, harming institutions. Because Donald Trump can't be the president forever. And somebody else is going to have to hold that office. And by the fact that he released those transcripts about a conversation with a foreign leader, it kills the institution. What foreign leader, if Bernie Sanders is the president and he needs to talk to somebody about something urgent, a foreign leader, to achieve some peace, but now the foreign leader says, wait a second, I'm not going to talk to Bernie Sanders on the phone. They make everything public, the Americans. The Democratic Party, stuff that was once revered and looked upon, an institution. There's no privacy now whatsoever. Everything's out in the open. So what foreign leader is going to want to talk to our president knowing that it can be put out there and smeared? They're not going to have any private conversations anymore. And the Democrats don't care about tearing down institutions. And that's how dangerous it was, the fact that he had to release it. And he happily released it. You know why? Because he made the Democrats look like friggin' idiots when he did it.
I don't have a problem with things being public, because I think that the American public should know everything. And I think that's it's information that it's relevant to the American public, because those decisions made by these people in power affect all of us. So I disagree with that. I think everything should be made public. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem here is that they are contradicting themselves, because they are using that to attack Donald Trump, when in reality, he has nothing to fear, because all that was said was a completely valid communication. And the fact that Nancy Pelosi, without any sort of evidence, first of all, Russiagate is a conspiracy theory. It was completely dismissed. After 2-3 years of going through that, nothing came out of it. And now they're using Ukrainegate to bring back Russiagate, in case you didn't notice, because she's like, oh, I'm sure Russia has a hand in this. There's absolutely no evidence to say that Russia has anything to do with this. But her saying that as a public official, as a trusted public official, gives people the idea that, oh, there is. And unfortunately, too many people who all they watch is mainstream media start repeating these things and regurgitating the same things. And then when you ask them, where did you get your information from? They're like, well, it's true. There's evidence. The intelligence community, all these things. No, they don't have the evidence.
Yeah.
They just repeat what they hear. And this is, again, it's propaganda, it's brainwashing, it's manufacturing consent, and it has to stop.
Yeah, well,
it has to stop.
I could tell you that we definitely disagree on that. There has to be some integrity within the White House, and there's going to be private conversations. That's why it's important for us to elect the proper people. And the fact that everything is made public, it's just going to be the fact that a lot of leaders are not going to talk to us on the phone, and they're not going to make deals when they need to. We have to trust, and that's what it says by Intelligence Committee. We have to put people in trust in positions, so when they have conversations with the foreign leaders, we have to secure the foreign leaders their right to privacy if they want to talk, that everything's just not blasted out there. But that's something we disagree with. But let's talk about this real quick, because I also want to prove that this is not a crime, because it wasn't just Donald Trump digging up the information. If you look at the first article, the prosecutor, Yuri Lutsenko, okay, he's been trying to present this information to the United States for over a year, fam. It's the biggest story of collusion. It says right there, okay, that the Sessions-Rosenstein DOJ repeatedly refused to acknowledge. Hopefully, William Barr will listen and act. And if you can just go down to a couple paragraphs, it talks about the Hill's John Solomon. You can see it right there in the middle. The Hill's John Solomon has followed the story closely, okay? And he talks about it. The next paragraph, Solomon says that Lutsenko and Kulik have been trying for a year to present their evidence to the officials at the Sessions-Rosenstein-led DOJ. However, not a single official they have contact has shown any interest in pursuing the claim. The two men decided to travel to the U.S. to speak to the Attorney General William Barr directly about their findings. However, their attempts to obtain visas have been thwarted repeatedly by the ambassador to the Ukraine, Maria Yovanovitch. Did I say it right? Marie Yovanovitch. I said that right. A highly partisan Democrat, Kulik told Solomon. We were supposed to share this information during a workshop to the trip to the United States. However, the ambassador blocked us from obtaining a visa. Okay, so now who that lady is, I have on the next page is, she was appointed by the Obama administration and was still there, and she had a do not prosecute list that she passed on, okay, to the prosecutor, the attorney general, the U.S. ambassador passed on to Litsenko. So Litsenko had the letter and showing and said, these people gave me a list of people I couldn't go after in my own country. I couldn't prosecute these people in my own country because they have political power behind them, standing behind them.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so this is over a year ago they tried to get it. Now, if you look on the next article I have right here, and it just says, and I want to show the laundry list. If you go right down to the Godfather, go to the list, Johnny, right below the red bar. You see right over here, see the list right, here's the list, it's pointed. Sworn statements from Ukrainian officials admitting that their agency tried to influence the 2016 U.S. presidential election in favor of Hillary Clinton. This is the whole Paul Manafort stuff, okay? Contacts between Democratic figures in Washington and Ukrainian officials involved in passing along dirt on Donald Trump. Financial records showing the gas company, the $3 million right there, okay? So they were showing a lot of stuff. They said, we have all this information. It was over a year ago. And then finally, the last one I have, they opened up a probe in late March. So this information was already over there. It says senior Ukrainian official says he opened up a probe. This is in the next article. I'm so sorry. They opened up a probe, and you can see if you go down a little bit, the day 3/20/2019. So not only were they trying to get this information, they opened up a probe. Donald Trump has every right to ask for this information, okay? It doesn't mean that he is the one who conjured up all this stuff. There's also a treaty out there, fam. Did I put it up here? I don't think I did I? Okay. No, yeah, well, that's the next one. Let's talk about that. Okay, so this was a political move to impeach by the Democrats. The only problem is it covers up the nefarious actions by their members and what they did in the Ukraine. Mainly Joe Biden, who not only helped financially loot the country, but he also played a huge role in regime change. And here it is. Washington was behind the coup. Obama admits that U.S. brokered a deal in support of regime change. And fam, for my SJW friends out there were 5 neo-Nazis who eventually became part of the Congress once they threw the Russian-friendly government out. Okay? And like I said, we're going to go back into what happened. All right?
So if you're upset about Donald Trump, like if you hate him so much and you want him to be prosecuted because he's a POS and because you think he is racist and a misogynist and he's a threat, why aren't you going to go after Biden, who is making deals with neo-Nazis who obviously hate people of color? And in the end, all of these weapons and all of these deals end up hurting the majority of poor people of color in other countries. I think the hypocrisy of Americans is that they don't care what happens to people outside of American soil. That is a reality of not paying attention to foreign policy. That is a reality of only being selfish and looking at the superficiality of what's going on in our country, but not how the leaders that we elect must be good at foreign policy and must be anti-war. Otherwise, we're going to end up bombing people of color over there, and you're going to turn around and start marching with your signs, "Resist Trump," and that you are a person that fights for equality and justice here while ignoring equality and justice in other countries that can't defend themselves against our imperialism.
Yeah.
I think that's hypocritical.
And what about the double standard too, fam? Right here, it shows you that the Democrats asked Ukraine to investigate Trump in 2018. Right there. Menendez. Look, I mean, literally, this has happened with Menendez. All these people, they wanted to keep a lot of the Dick Durbin, Pat Leahy. They wrote to the Ukrainian general prosecutor, Yuri, and they asked him to keep the government open to probes related to Russiagate and Mueller. That was okay, though. They can do that. And that was months ago they did this. All right? And then last but not least, also, I don't know if this is verified. I was looking into it. There's also a treaty that was out there. And the treaty came out, and it was in, I believe, 1998. It was during the Clinton administration, where it was a joint agreement between both the United States and Ukraine to legally assist each other in criminal matters. Ukraine has had a history of corruption, and they've signed this treaty to say, okay, let's work together. Now, I don't know if this treaty is still applicable, but I've been looking around for it. I haven't been able to find it, if it's still good. I don't know if in 2014, when the government changed, if this treaty still works or it's still, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people feel that, once again, like George Bush Jr. used his father's treaty to go into war with Iraq. And my dad, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Trump will do the same thing and say, well, look, we have a treaty. We're allowed to work jointly to share information, whatnot. So, with all that being said, fam, let's get to the juicy part, because this is really upsetting to me. Can you elaborate on why Tulsi might have switched her stance on impeachment, and if it's okay? Because I'm going to give you my opinion in a second, because I am upset by this.
Well, I mean, we've seen Bernie Sanders kind of placate to the center because he is running to win the Democratic primary. So his whole goal and how he's being advised is terrible on foreign policy. But when it comes to domestic policy, it's like that anti-Trump thing. It's like that whole, like, let's bash Trump, blah, blah, blah. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But that is what he's doing. I feel like Tulsi has been the one that's gone against that because she's running for the general, it seems. She's running to get those independent votes, those Republican votes, the votes that Bernie isn't going to get, and that are crucial, which I think is a wonderful strategy. But I also think it has its downfalls, as we've seen, people equating her to Trump, equating her to the right. If she did not sign on to this, and she didn't do it right away, she is a very logical person, as I've always said. She refrains from having reactionary, emotional decisions, and actually looks at things, reads them, and then says, look, we have to do this, this, and that. She initially was against impeachment, and I was excited about that, but because she was the one person against it. But then I feel like she was pressured, and I feel like she thought that this was something that she couldn't really go against. She would be the only one, and I think it would have affected, affected her more negatively, actually, from the Democratic Party. She's already getting a lot in regards to Modi, in regards to the whole healthcare questioning that she's been having. And if she didn't do that, I think it would hurt her. However, you can also argue that she could have stuck to her guns and kept it. But I'm upset in general that this is a thing. I'm upset in general. I don't hold it against her that much because of everything else.
Yeah, I'm not going to cancel her, but it's definitely strike one for me. This is the most upsetting thing that Tulsi, for me, has done, because she's the one that stays outside of the box, outside of the party. She's the one who challenges, the establishment, and that was her role. And by going along with this impeachment, you're, in my personal opinion, you're saying it's okay that a person who perpetuated regime change is now going to be defended. You're going to defend him about the way the information was obtained. This is her number one cause. She's supposed to be anti-regime change. And at the end of the day, all roads lead to Rome. They lead back to what Joe Biden did. And what he did in the Ukraine is disgusting. And if she doesn't know, she needs to know. Okay? Because this right here seems like a political move to me. And it's really and I'm the one who said, fam, with the Biden stuff, listen, she's going to have to get her hands a little dirty. She's going to have to do that stuff. And I had no problem with her defending Joe Biden as far as the way he was being attacked by Kamala and Corey. I understood the compassion behind people like Tim Black who were upset, the people like Niko who were upset, but I also understood that she was going after Kamala and Corey and Elizabeth the way they were attacking Joe Biden, because themselves, they were being very political when they were doing it.
They were manipulating.
They were very, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of excused that. I was upset by it, but I excused it because of what's going on. I can't excuse this. This, to me, is a dead, solid strike one. And it's going to lead to when we see her next, because here's the thing. A lot of people have been out there sharing our videos, fam, because we are Tulsi people, or if we're not, whatever. We ask our questions. We ask the hard questions to the people we like. We vet them properly. And Tulsi never, ever screens our questions. We get to ask what we want. My partner over here asked her about Kashmir when it wasn't popular. It was a very hard question. It wasn't something that she wanted to be talking about. I was
the first person to ask her about Kashmir.
Yes, you were. Now maybe people have followed up, but if we were Tulsi people, we would have avoided that question like the plague. But we asked them. I asked her a question about China. When I see Tulsi Ness, I'm going to ask her why she changed her stance on this and why it's okay to stand behind a impeachment which perpetuates regime change in the Ukraine by Joe Biden. She needs to know. I am very, very upset by this decision. She was the only adult in the room in my mind, because this, once again, is a distraction from the criminal activities that the Democratic Party and the deep state or the CIA or whatever you want, all these high-level intelligence agencies, these people are 40, 50 years, 30, 40 years, they're in the CIA. What do you think their mentality is?
But she, Jonathan, do you have her latest tweet? Because she is, I really don't think she's for impeachment as much as she is for the legality of doing the inquiry and doing the things. Do you have her latest? Yeah, that one.
Okay,
yeah.
let me get it
If
up
Johnny,
here for you.
Johnny, if you want to read it.
Check. Okay. Hello. Yeah. Tulsi recently tweeted, let's see, today at 12:22 p.m. She tweeted, candidates for POTUS who are fundraising off impeachment are undermining credibility of inquiry in eyes of American people, further dividing our already fractured country. Please stop. We need responsible, patriotic leaders who put the interests of our country before their own.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And look what's the comment right below him.
Oh, Mikey.
What did Mikey you say?
I remember a very wise woman who had a 3-word comment a month or two ago regarding politicizing the prospect of impeachment.
He's got a lot of likes. Like that for me, please. Thank you, Mikey. You. We love you watching. You know what I'm saying? There's Shauna right below it, and I know Shauna feels the same way, because people would say, like, oh, Tulsi could take my firstborn and do no wrong by me. Bull.
That's
This
what
is
Ron
wrong.
said.
Ron Placone said that you are wrong. I am very, very upset by this decision.
I was more
She the
upset
only-
about her health care for choice thing. See, it's different for
I
me.
know,
Like,
I
for
know.
me, that was a really dumb thing to say, and I would have never advised her to say anything
Yeah.
like that. And I'm awaiting her plan. To me, that's what and the picture with Modi, that too. There are things that have
lot of
bothered
people in
me
the Modi stuff,
a
yeah.
lot more than this.
That
Like,
was
I
no,
feel
no,
like
not
this
me.
is. I feel like this is something that she. I get it, and you're right. But I also feel like this is something political that she had to do. That's
She's
just the way I see it.
Once again, I don't know what her love affair is with Joe Biden and stuff, but there's only so far we
His
can go.
son, his
Whatever
dead
it is,
son.
I don't care. Joe Biden perpetuated regime change in Ukraine, and I'm not going to stop saying that. Okay, it was a coup that overtook the government and threw them out, and the pro-Russian government was thrown out. And eastern Ukraine and western Ukraine, if you don't know what's going on, okay, you have to understand what's going on. Joe Biden perpetuated regime change in the Ukraine. I don't expect the regime change candidate, the anti-regime change candidate,
Fair
to
point.
balk on that. It's a balk. And you better believe next time I see Tulsi Gabbard, I will ask her about it. It
Fair
is her
point.
job to know what Joe Biden and his son did in the Ukraine.
You're gonna break the mic sound.
I'm sorry, but this is bullshit. And what he did in China, because I used to say I'm feeling sorry for Joe Biden. Now I'm going back. No, I don't. Get out. Goodbye.
He should be disqualified for this, by the way. He should be entirely disqualified. That's the thing. He's like the leader, the lead. We all know he's not, but he's the one.
Why would the Democrats want him, fam?
Him and Warren are in the lead, and according to these false polls, of course. But that's it. And you know what? Let me go back to Trump really quick. You could have impeached Donald Trump for the emoluments. You could have impeached him for locking kids up in cages. You could have impeached him for the regime change in Venezuela, pushing that coup. They could have impeached him for all of that. You know why they didn't impeach him for all of that? Because they don't have a problem with him doing any of that. The only reason they're impeaching him and why he's so pissed is because they're protecting Biden. They're protecting themselves and their own dealings.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Otherwise, they would have impeached him a long time ago, or in an inquiry at
Yes.
least. And this is going to get us nowhere. And that's what I wanted to end with, Pasta. This is going to get us nowhere. I'm sick about impeachment already. It's already giving me, like, I'm already sick during flu season over this fucking impeachment.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
And they
I
might make it a
can't.
circus,
And
fam.
it is a circus.
They might make
but
it more
they
of a
might not
circus.
Make it. It is a circus.
They said Russiagate would go quick, swift, and
No.
whatnot. It's been 3 freaking years. What are they going to do? They're going to run this throughout the whole freaking as a distraction?
The Senate is not going to vote for him, and all you're doing is getting more Republicans to line up with him. Not only Republicans, independents, and people who are turned off by the Democratic Party because they're seeing the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party. They're seeing how far they're going to go to frame their narrative. And guess what? Come 2020, these same Democrats they're not ready to nominate Bernie Sanders. Are you kidding me? It's going to be a fight in the contested convention. You just watch.
I'm giving
and the
yeah.
same people, Nancy Pelosi, the same people talking about how we need to protect our democracy and all this other bullshit are going to be the
Yeah.
ones that put somebody like Elizabeth Warren against Donald Trump, knowing that she's going to lose to him. They don't care about removing Trump. They don't care about removing Trump. They care about protecting themselves.
That's exactly
And that's the
right.
bottom
And that's
line.
what Ukrainegate's about. And Johnny's got a little something to show about Elizabeth Warren, because the reason why they won't go after him on your emoluments, and she said it, and you watch, they're going to give a little small attention and knock it out the window, because if they start going after Donald Trump on emoluments, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Chuck the Schmuck, they got to prove how they made their money, and they'll be guilty as sin.
Exactly.
But how about Elizabeth Warren, Johnny, before we read the super chats?
Speaking of Elizabeth Warren, she, a lot of people were talking about this on Twitter, and credit to, Jimmy Dore for doing a great video on that. I would check that out if I were all of you. But basically, here is Elizabeth Warren and this tweet by Nicole Saganga. Flag. Senator Elizabeth Warren appears uncharacteristically flustered when asked if her ethics plan would allow her vice president's son to serve on the board of a foreign company. No, she said. She answers it correctly. And then she said, I don't know. I mean, I have to go back and look at details.
Yeah,
Look at
I know,
this
right?
shit. 1.3 million views.
Of course.
Could you say whether or not under a Warren administration would your vice president's child be allowed to serve on a board of a foreign company?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I have to go back and look at the details.
Look,
Do you think there could be a
look at the body language. Okay.
Walking it back.
She's really great at that, by the
Walking
way. And
it
I have
back.
me and Johnny are going to do another Elizabeth Warren thing either tonight or with Pasta tomorrow, but because it's a lot of information and I have to go be a KPFK reporter.
Yeah, I'm going to read
But
some super chats real quick.
Let's read the super chats.
Get my lady out of here because she does amazing work. Neither the Democrats nor Trump have any credibility. I don't care about their internal squabbles. This is another CIA-created distraction, further keeping us from fighting against the corporatists who are oppressing us, from the random nobody who is a special
Thank
somebody.
you, random nobody.
On the CONVO Couch YouTube. I believe we lost a couple of super chats. We had one, and I lost it. It's gone away forever. I am so sorry. We will make sure we address the super chats quickly. I know there is one on the MCSC network. David Harris, who is also a Patreon member. Thank you, David Harris. Hey, Pasta Fiorella. And my poly bro, Mateo. Is that Mateo? I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Dirty Chivo said, get him, Pasta, baby.
Oh, that's right. Where was that at?
On our combo couch.
Is that my boy? Yeah, it's right, Dirty Chivo. I am really disgusted by this thing. I am upset with this. I'm not as upset as we talked about with the word choice. Ladies and gentlemen on the Facebook, thank you so much as well. Carl Hines, stop fighting with Lauren Steiner, Carl Hines. Cheyenne Tierra, we love all your stuff.
She's
Mel
pissing
Tillman
us
Rockney.
off.
She's the worst. I love her, but she's the worst. Roshan, I'm sorry I haven't called you back. I will. Rocky, give us a call. Pijman, we love you. And Sarah Johnson and Anna Acevedo.
Yeah, good job. He finally got your name right. I'm so proud of him.
Guys, get over to our Rockfin,
Graduated.
please. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I know I'm kind of hurrying here. I'm rushing because Fam has to get out of here. She's got to get over to KPFK for Pasta Jardula.
Oh, and Fiorella, but one more thing. I just want you guys to know about the whistleblowers. How they're glorifying this whistleblower.
He's not a
Yet,
whistleblower.
3 of our Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden, and Julian Assange,
Yep.
True
who are
heroes.
doing actual work.
True
Julian
heroes.
Assange is a journalist, and Chelsea Manning served our country. Edward Snowden served our country, and they're literally being vilified. So when they talk about embracing whistleblowers, they only embrace the whistleblowers they care about.
Yeah. It's not a whistleblower.
Bottom line, no,
it's not a
he's a
whistleblower.
CIA tool.
He is. He's another
That's it.
freaking guy who's got a partisan freaking view.
Just wanted to
and
note
that's why
that.
they even brought him forward. It's not a
Hypocrisy.
freaking whistleblower. And any whistleblower that exposes the CIA, they throw him in jail.
Right. If they're a real whistleblower, they're not going to be glorified.
This
like
guy's
that.
back working at the CIA, is what
Yeah.
I heard.
All right, guys.
For Pasta
sorry.
Jardula.
Fiorella Isabel.
Johnny Sue on the 1s and 2s.
Combo out.
Peace.
Bye.